Enough respect every time. Reaching out to all the listeners out there. Thames Delta Radio. Thames Delta Radio, live and direct.
You're locked into Thames Delta Radio. They run the show.
Thames Delta Radio. Yeah.
Thames Delta Radio, hotter than Dame.
Krust Foundation, baby. Big dog style. Strictly big things going on. We ain't bling blinging no more. We blang blanging. You know what I mean? Straight like that, yo. Knowledge yourself, yo. You gotta know yourself. Know where you come from. You know where you at. You know where you going.
I wake up in the morning wanting some music. What radio station shall I listen to? Oh, Thames Delta.
Thames Delta Radio. Ready for run some rhythm selector.
Keep moving forward, keep saying, keep contributing, keep having fun, right? It's like you've got to try and keep motivated in this time. So boom, you know, I wanted to talk on, because the last time we did this Hour of Power, one of the things that keeps coming up on every single call at the moment is about people not being able to finish the tracks, and this feeling of like people feeling unfocused. Like, and for me, it's a really big thing. Sorry, I'm just reading Fabric M. Yeah, it is. It's mindset as well. So it's mindset. And so one of the things that is a real big issue as creators and artists, and this really defines who we are, is our self-image. And your self-image is such a powerful part of your identity. It is your identity. And there's a saying, you can never outrun your self-image. And so with all the work that we're doing as a creator and as an artist to get to that next level, when you see, you know, a goal that you're trying to achieve and you're having trouble trying to achieve it, it's because of the self-image. It's the self, you know, how you see yourself, how you identify with yourself is the main culprit. And so there's a really great book, if you guys get a chance to read it. It's called, yeah, Marcus. Funny enough, I was thinking about that the other night as I was doing an old 96. Yeah, I noticed how much, yeah, it's good. If I can just see much. Oh wow, it's a bit much for me to read right now, but yeah, it's your self-image is such a powerful ally and enemy at the same time. It keeps everything intact, but also as well, it struggles to incorporate new ideas. And why is that important? Because everything that I'm focusing on and I'm talking about is based on the mind of, as an artist and as a creator. And this is across the board. This isn't just music, and I'll keep saying this isn't just in music that my focus in. I love all kinds of art, design, creativity, music, dance, anything where the performance is needed, where you need to develop yourself and a personal performance is required for you to get to the next level. And so if you look at your career or your where you're advancing, and even in your personal pursuits, but if you don't feel like you're actually making progress, that can be very frustrating, because life is about growth. Another word for growth is progress. And so why do we have these big goals? Because you want to progress. You want to move up. You want to move somewhere in life. And so when I hear these comments, like, you know, someone says, I can't finish my music, it's like, well, I'm thinking, well, what's actually going on there? What images is going on inside your mind that when you're sitting there trying to finish your music, it's not flowing out of you, right? It's not flowing out of you, because what is stopping you from getting to that next stage? It's nothing physical, and it sounds like it's nothing technical either, because most people I talk to and I work with, technically they're amazing. So what's the difference that makes the difference between somebody who is unable to finish their tunes consistently, or whatever project they're doing consistently, and to a high enough standard that they're moving consistently up the scale, and they're getting noticed and they're getting recognized, and they're producing high quality original content, right? Because that's the other part of it, high quality original content that helps you get recognized as a creator in your own field, right? And helps you stand out from the crowd. So there's a few pieces of this puzzle, right? So when you think about it, as a creator, you need to be unique, right? You need to have something unique and original that helps you stand out. You need to be consistent as an artist. You need to original, unique, consistent. Original, unique, consistent, you know, and you need to have a unique sound, right? So I call that your signature blueprint, right? Your signature blueprint is the sound, whatever it is, your sound, it's your thing that everybody, when they pick up your book, immediately, right, for instance, when you see J.K. Rowling's, you pick up her book, immediately you know that's a J.K. Rowling's book because of the content. You see a Steven Spielberg film, immediately you know that's a Spielberg film because of the way his camera angles are, the way that his storylines are structured. You know, you listen to Wu-Tang Clan, immediately you know that's Method Man, immediately you know that's RZA, immediately you know that's Jizza, and it's a certain signature sound that sells a product before you've even got halfway through. It's like, you know, you pick up the cover. So these things are all connected with your self-belief, your self-image. Why is this so important? Because if you don't have that and you don't feel confident in, you know, representing who you really are, who are you representing? What are you talking about? Why should anybody listen to what it is that you're doing? How do people know that it's you and not the other 10,000 people that have a similar sound? And one of the powerful things about, you know, today's music or today's art scene and craft scene is because is the technology. The technology right now is so amazing. But what it's doing, it's, you know, it's almost making people, you know, it's almost making people just rely on the cut and paste psychology rather than the deeper development, right? How are you developing yourself as a creator, right? How are you, and what are you doing to find inspiration as a creator? And so there's a few areas of this. I just wanted to touch on what the idea about the self-image is, because it's a really powerful concept. And it's really deep to sort of try and understand how you can develop your self-image, because your self-image is almost like your set point. When your self-image is set at, let's just give it some numbers, right? Say your self-image is at 60%, right? You'll never ever be able to go to 70%, because your self-image, it will always go to 60%. And you might have a couple of days when you go 66, 65, 67, but your self-image will kick in and it will say, hold on a minute, you're making me uncomfortable. I don't want to go to 70. I know what you're trying to do, but I feel safer at 60%. And I'm not going to be pushed around by you, right? And the powerful thing that the self-image is, this is what self-sabotage is. Self-sabotage is the body's way of keeping you safe. So when I hear someone say, oh, I'm sabotaging myself, on a much deeper level, that means your subconscious mind, your self-image doesn't want any harm to come to you, because to go to 70%, it's going to disrupt your world, right? To go to 70%, it's going to disrupt your world. Everything will change. And if if you've been through any really disruptive periods in your life when you've had to make some drastic changes, you will know what that's like when you've had to leave your family, leave your friends, leave your neighborhood, leave a job, leave a certain type of income, and move and be around a whole new set of people. It's a completely new way of life, and that can be, self-doubt. It can be very, very challenging. Very, very challenging. And in that challenge, and in that challenging time, the body is seeking comfort. And this is so powerful to get if you're a creator and an artist, because most creators and artists, well, all creators and artists have to make a living from your imagination. And what happens when you feel vulnerable? Right? right? You restrict. You go into this thing called foveal vision, where all the blood in your body is pumping just to keep you safe so you can get out of danger. There's nothing chasing us anymore. We don't live in the wild. That response is totally irrational and illogical. But somehow we still get into this fear-based response, and we are trying to escape danger, but you're only trying to upskill, you're only trying to get a better job, you're only trying to, you know, make or finish a project, but you're having all these types of fear response. And on one side of it, it's frustrating and it's anger, and people have this sort of thing where they come to me and they say, you know, they tell me about the symptoms: frustration, anger, procrastination, stress, anxiety. These are symptoms. The real problem is way deeper down. So what we have a saying in the coaching field, it's like the presenting problem is never the problem. Okay, and we know this as well. If you've had a heated debate with your significant other, right? And all of a sudden, it goes from 1 to 10 really quickly, right? And afterwards, when it's all said and done, you actually start to realize what was really upsetting you. And it wasn't what was said at the time to make you have this outburst. It was what was underneath. And that's what this is about. And so the how this breaks down for people is, the 20% mechanics is what we do every day, you know, and I'll keep referring to music because that's where my main focus is. But learning a sampler is mechanics. Learning how to sequence is mechanic. Learning how to use the computer, that's mechanics, right? 20% mechanics. 80% psychology, that is what separates you from the next person, right? Yes, Jordan. That's what separates you from, yes, Adrian, from the next person. So what do I mean? Think about this. Think about the great tennis players, Andre Agassi and John McEnroe, right? Two great titans, right? Tennis players, right? And even Venus Williams and some of her closest contemporaries. And even Andy Murray as well. So I like tennis, and I like the mindsets behind sports and how people win or lose, right? So I'm fascinated by it because there's not much. When you get to that top 1% of creators and people at that top 1%, what is the difference that makes the difference? Let's go back to tennis. If Andy Murray has got the same kit, right, as Federer, right, he's got the same trainers, right, they got the same socks, they got the same shorts, they got the same tops, they got the same racket, right, they're playing on the same courts, a clay field, right, they got the same balls, same water, same towels, right? What is the difference that's going to make the difference on that day, right? Mindset. Mindset is going to be the difference. That's the only thing, right, that's going to be the defining factor, right, is how they show up on that day. And how they show up on that day is going to be about their conditioning that's led up to that event. What do they do every day? What is their rituals in the morning? What is their rituals in the day, throughout the day? How do they prepare for sleep? What do they do, you know, before they go to sleep, during sleep? Is it a good night's sleep? Is it a restless sleep? What's the first thing they do when they get up? How do they focus? And so, why is this so? Yes, Adrian. Why is this so important? Because the only reason, as a creator, you're not getting to that next level is because of something going on in your consciousness. You don't believe it, you haven't practiced it enough, you don't have the right skill set, you don't have the right teachers, coaches, mentors, you're not around the right people, you have negative beliefs, you know, you have fear of success, you have fear of failure. Right, all of these isms and schisms and fears that are keeping you back from reaching that next level of success. And so what is it when someone says they can't finish a tune? They're saying, or they can't finish a project. What are they really saying is, they're really saying, on some level, I'm afraid of what's going to happen. I don't know what it is, right? I don't know what it is, but whatever the unknown element of this is, I am not willing right now to have a look at that. And the only way you can get to this next level of performance is to go to the one place you don't want to go. It's to look in the one place you don't want to look. And this is so powerful to get because your self-image holds all the cards in that scenario. Your self-image is the one that's saying, we're not going down there. We're not looking at that part of ourselves today, you know. And if anyone makes us do something we're uncomfortable with, we're gonna dig our heels in. We ain't going anywhere. And that comes out in, you know, I'm afraid to fail. I'm afraid to succeed. You know, so and so isn't going to like me if I go and do this. What's going to happen if I get loads of money? What's going to happen if I become too successful? All of these questions are based in lack and in fear. You cannot know what you don't know, right? And you can't know everything you need to know to make an informed, take informed action, right? Because you can't know every variable that there is before you take action. So it's like you cannot move in an uncertain environment. But no, sorry, you cannot create certainty, right, in an uncertain environment. Okay, so what does that mean? What do you mean? What does that mean? It's your ability to act in the unknown without all information, right? You can still act in the unknown without all the information. You say, oh, well, what the hell does that mean, Kay? Think about when you're driving down the motorway and it's pitch black, right? And it might even be raining, right? And all you can see is as far as your headlights, right? And you're driving, you're doing about 60 miles an hour because it might not be that great light, but there isn't a point when you stop. You've got limited visibility, but you know where you're going. You know you're going from A to B. You're going from A to B, but there's no point. There is not any point where you think you're not going to make it. And just because you can see as far as the headlights are letting you see, you still know you're going to make it, right? And the difference with that metaphor and what it is that what we do as creators and artists is we don't see that far in front of us when we're trying to create what it is that we're trying to create. We're trying to see too far down the line. We're trying to think of ourselves as selling out stadiums, or, you know, selling 1 million records, or selling 1 million books, or making a blockbuster film, or creating a show that everyone's going to come to. That is the end result. But what are the steps to get to it? What are the steps to get to it? And when you think about what it is that what's holding you back. Yes, Brian. And when you think about what it is that's holding you back, it's not necessarily the thought that you can't achieve it. What's holding you back is you're trying to achieve something too big, too quickly, that you've got no experience in. So the mind shuts down. It says, fuck, what's going on? This is too big. I can't do this. This is too big for me. I can't, yes, B, I cannot imagine everything and all the moving parts all at once. And that gives you a clue of how to deal with the solution to this. And the solution is to scale it down, right? To scale it down and to start doing the smallest bits, right? Because if the subconscious mind, the self-image job is to keep us safe, and it deems what you're moving towards as a risk, what do? Right? Imagine, let's go back to the driving scenario. You're driving down the motorway, it's dark, it's raining, you're doing 80 miles an hour, all of a sudden it gets even harder, the rain. What do? You slow down. You don't keep going at 100 miles an hour, right? You slow down. You might even go into the middle lane. You might even go into the slow lane. You might even go into the hard shoulder for a bit and stop until the rain goes away, and then you get back on track. Okay, so when you're in these creative situations, and by the way, if you are struggling, you're doing something right. Okay, if you're struggling to get the result that you want, you're doing something right. And what do I mean? I mean you are actually moving towards something that is challenging you, that is helping you grow, and that is making you learn something new. So to go to a new place, to reach a new goal, you have to do new things and be around new people. Brings up fear, stress, anxiety, outside your comfort zone. That's the only place to grow. Where's the biggest lots of development from anybody? In the being uncomfortable, in the outside your comfort zone, right? Where we call it stress, but think about where is stress, where in nature does stress bring out the best results? Diamonds. Diamonds are put under great amounts of stress for thousands of years. Boom, we get diamonds. Grapes, the best grapes are put under stress. We get champagne, right? So stress isn't necessarily a bad thing if you know how to use it to your advantage. So we've just gone way deep into the rabbit hole, and I hope this is making sense for you guys. Let me know if this is making sense, and just give me some thumbs up, show me some signals that this is making sense to you guys, because as creators, and for me as a creative coach, one of the things that I'm really passionate about is making sure, yes, you're one of the diverse producers, yes, Marcus, best, yes, nice one guys, good, because one of my jobs as a creator is to push the boundaries, and everything that I've been talking to you about for the last 10-15 minutes is what I've gone through since, you know, since coded language. And so when I made coded language, like I said the other day, that really pushed me to have to grow as a creator, has to grow as an artist, and it got me to breaking point, and I was trying to resist being broken because I thought I had to remain the same, and that was the trap. The trap was trying to remain the same and not really understanding that to go to the next level, you have to change. And this change was like what, for most of us, this is what we're resisting. We're resisting the change, but the change is about growth. You cannot do what you did to get here to get there. Okay, I'll say that again. Whatever you did to get here, you cannot do to get there. Different mind states along the way require different levels of thinking, different levels of understanding, different coaches, different people, different mindsets, different tools, different strategies. And so I keep using the tennis. Thanks, Darren. I keep, yes, Roxy, make friends with the hard times. Yeah, it does help you grow. Ollie, do you mean that the ego keeps you in a safe place because it's easy and you don't have to worry, whereas growth requires challenge, which means you'll have to doubt yourself? Kind of. What it means is that there's a part of you, I'm going to break it down. So there's a part of you, your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. So your conscious mind is what we're using now. We're all paying attention. That's 4% of your power. But your unconscious mind is like 96% of your power, which is what your self-image is attached to and controls. So that 96% of your power is unconscious. So if you ever see the picture of the iceberg, where you just see the iceberg on the top, it's a small little bit, and then underneath you see the massive piece of the iceberg, that is what we would say is our subconscious mind, which is the power that we have unconscious, right? That's our unconscious power. So why is that important? Well, because your unconscious, your subconscious mind controls all of your body's functions. As we are sitting here watching this, your blood is still being pumped around your body, your heart is pumping, your hair is still growing, your DNA is still changing, your cells are still splitting, your body's still digesting food, your body's tuning in to the star system that was aligned to your birth, right? That's deep, some Egyptian shit there. We'll get into that another time. But all of these things are happening totally without your awareness. Nobody is thinking, I need to keep my heart pumping. Nobody is thinking, I need to make sure my blood is sorting itself out and the nutrients are being taken out of my body. None of us are thinking that consciously. This is all happening on the unconscious level. And because that's happening on the unconscious level, there's other things that the subconscious mind takes care of. Memory, survival, emotions, you know, and a host of other things. One of the most vital things to understand about the subconscious mind is primary job is to keep you safe no matter what. Once it's been programmed, and how do you get programmed? Through life. Your subconscious mind is recording everything, even without your awareness, and even while you are sleeping, it's still recording. You have, if you get put under hypnosis, you can recall things from 20 years ago that you had no idea that you were aware of. That's how powerful your subconscious mind is. It is your black box recorder that was recording before you came into this dimension, and it will be recording long after you leave it. That's how deep it is. And so that has all the information that makes up your ID, your identity, your ID, your identity, right? And so as its primary job and your comfort zone, and its primary job is based on keeping everything the same as it was before. What do I mean by that? Whatever environment you spent day one at, from when you were born to where you are now, or actually from 1 to 10, those are, or 1 to 7, those are your imprint years, okay? So whatever environment you were in between 1 and 7, that was imprinted on your subconscious as that is your normal, right? That is your normal way of being. So anything that's outside of that, it says, no, this isn't normal. I don't recognize it. Move it away. And why is that a problem? Because when you're trying to upskill, you're trying to learn a new skill, you're trying to go to a new place in life, you have to deal with your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind says, this isn't my normal. I'm not used to this. I will reject this if I feel threatened. And what if it's just to get in a different job? What if it's just finishing an album? What if it is meeting a new partner? And all of a sudden this fear comes up. And the fear is a warning, right? The body's saying warning, warning, warning. Heart starts beating faster. You know, you start sweating. You start to get foveal vision. And, you know, you can feel this anxiety kicking in. The body's just warning you and reminding you that you are about to leave your comfort zone. And when you start to get outside your comfort zone, this is where the alarm bells start ringing really loud. And this is the only place you can learn to overcome this is in this space, this uncomfortable zone. And why is it so uncomfortable? Because you haven't practiced operating in this space for long periods of time. So there's a lot more to explain about that. It's very, very in-depth. There is a great book. There's 2 books I could give you the names of. One is called The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, and the other one is Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, and they go into a lot of depth. Maxwell Maltz talks a lot about the self-image, whereas the Power of the Subconscious Mind talks a lot about the subconscious mind and how it's programming and where it's programming and what happens because of the programming. And so I'm always fascinated by it, because in my journey I've had to come across these different stages, from being signed to a major, which for me was a really big deal. So I really wanted to make an album that I thought was really, thanks Tony, that yes Emmanuel, that I thought was going to really be a big step up for me. So it put a lot of pressure on myself as a creator and as an artist. But what I got from that was I pushed myself to create something new and different, and that it was uncomfortable for me. But the result of that is a classic, a classic Krust album. And when I made tunes like True Stories and Soul Emotion, Future Unknown, same thing again. I had to push myself to go to the next levels. Yeah, okay, so like fight or flight response almost. Yes, definitely. In regards to anxiety, to change your mindset, that's exactly right. When you want to change, and this is the thing about growth or getting to that next level, it's not necessarily about, so let me break it down like this. The purpose of a goal, right? A purpose of a goal is for a person to become the person who is capable of getting that goal. So for you to become that person to get that goal, you have to develop yourself. And how do you develop yourself? You have to grow. And how do you grow? You have to change. So all of these ideas are based in you not being the same person you are now when you get that goal. That means you have to change who you are and become something else to get that goal. And that is where the work is. That's what the personal development is. That's what the mindset shifts are all about, and why we need to do the personal development and why we need to do it every day. Because at first, it's like hitting the coal face, right? It's like doing this. It's a brick wall, brick wall, brick wall, brick wall, and you do the work. You do the meditations, you do the visualization, you read the books, you stay calm, you notice your reaction. And there's a whole skill set that you need to practice. We won't have time to get into it all on this call, but there's a whole skill set you need to practice, and you do that every day. And at first, you don't see any results, right? So they say it takes 21 days to change a habit. I think it takes probably at least 90 days, 3 months, right? So this behavior that you want to move into, so you want to become a better producer, a better artist, a better writer, you have to be practicing every single day for like 90 days. You practice and practice every day for 90 days, and after 90 days you'll notice some changes in your pattern. But in the first month you might not notice any change, or if you do, it'll only be very slight. This puts people off. People think, oh, there's nothing happening, I've been doing this for such and such a time and nothing's happening. And then if you carry on and you push through, you'll get to the next 30 days, right? So that's 2 months, 60 days. All of a sudden now, you're making progress, right? You feel different. You notice that there's a few changes. Your attitude changes. Some things that used to annoy you don't annoy you so much. But here's the other thing on it. Other people start noticing you're different now, and they come up to you and they say, "Hey, there's something different with you. What's up?" And you're like, "Well, I'm just doing this work, and I'm changing." And they're like, this is the other part of it. Some people are really for you. They're like, "Oh, wicked, great, well done." And then there are other people that are like, "Why are you changing? Why are you doing this work?" And because this incubation period is so delicate, right, I tell people, when you're doing this work for those first 6 months, don't share it with people unless you really know that they're going to support you. Because what tends to happen is the old patterns start to come back in, because people who are not so supportive and understanding of what you want to do kind of knock your confidence a little bit. Why are you doing this work? Why are you changing? Why do you think you're special? Blah, 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 rare. And this sort of, if you're not careful, you don't have the right team of people around you, you're taking this on board and you think, well, I don't know what, and it could rock you. And I've seen people who done a lot of the work, and then they've gone back to, the old environment because they really want to share with their friends, but their friends have been doing the work. They haven't changed the same way you have. They haven't changed and developed themselves and like you have. And so you're split now, right? You've got all your old friends who you've grown up with and you love, and some of these old friends could be your family members, right? And that's a really powerful one, because sometimes your family doesn't support you, and this can be really difficult. And then you've got your new friends and family, right? The people that are coaching you, are mentoring you, are working with you, who are supporting you, who are helping you. And they see the potential in you. They see that you could be better, and they're encouraging you. But you want to share with your friends and family this new stuff because you think it can help them. And then you try and explain to them, I'm doing this new thing. And they're like, why do you think I need to change? Blah, 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 blah. And then we have this really awkward split, because now this is the crunch time where most people have to make this really deep dividing decision, which is, I have to cut off a lot of people that aren't supporting me. And this is where it becomes challenging for most people. And a lot of the work where people aren't finishing tracks and aren't starting tracks or finishing projects comes from that deep-seated fear of thinking that they're going to be lonely, thinking that they're not going to be supported going forward, and that is really, really challenging for what people really want when they really go for a goal. So DJ Barmley, what's a way to tell if you're slipping into old habits? You know when you're slipping into old habits, because after 61 days, after 90 days of doing a new habit, it should be ingrained in you at such a level that when you stop doing it, it feels funny. You just feel funny and awkward, and you don't want to stop doing it. How do you know you're slipping back into your old habits? You just know, because all of a sudden you'll start snapping again, or you'll be really frustrated, or you'll be angry at something that you don't quite know, because you are slipping back, and you know you slip back, and you don't know how to deal with it. So it's easier to snap and be defensive. So this is about awareness. Remember, earlier I said, when you don't know, you don't know, you don't know, right? That's called unawareness, right? You don't understand, you don't know that you don't know what you don't know, right? You can't solve a problem that you don't know you have. So it takes another person to come up to you and say, you know what, you're a bit off key, or you're not performing at the level, and they point this thing out, and sometimes you could be defensive. What do you mean, me? But you know, a good friend of mine said, if 20 people tell you X, Y, Z, don't argue, stop and take it on board. Could they potentially be right? Okay, and if they are, what can I do to rectify the situation? Because I can't see my blind side. That's why it's called a blind side, and that's why you need good people around you, because you should be able to trust your top 2 or 3 friends when they say you're fucking up, Dread. And you're like, nah, I'm not. And then they're like, and the other one says, yeah, you are. And you're like, okay, I got to check myself then. And that's because you trust the people you're around who are telling you that. And if you're trying to develop yourself, get to that next level, and you're not hitting your mark, and you're getting frustrated and angry, then someone will come and say, do you know what? Try doing it like this. Try thinking like that. And that's why you've got that team of people around you who can help you and help you get, help you see what you can't see. So it's better for the conscious mind to dissolve into the unconscious mind during creative growth. It doesn't really dissolve. It's more about letting go. So you're unattached. So everything that we are as human beings, everything that we think we are and know we are and believe we are, is about attachment. So, and I'll give you a perfect example. Imagine you're in a dream, right? And just as you're waking out of this dream, it's amazing, right? And you're coming back into consciousness, and there's nothing bothers you. You've got no care in the world. Everything feels really beautiful, really great. And you're just about to come back into normal world. And you wake up, right? And you're sat on the edge of the bed, and there's not a problem in the world. You said, it's a great dream. It feels really beautiful. And then all of a sudden, bam! You come back into your body. You come back into the real world. All of a sudden, you remember you got debts, you got deadlines, the phone ring, and you remember who you are. That's because everything is about the attachment to this real world. Your unconsciousness is attached by memory. Remember the subconscious mind? Your subconscious mind is the seat of your memory. Everything of what you are is stored in your subconscious mind. It remembers everything. It remembers things that happened to you as a kid. It remembers everything that happened last week. Even if I asked you if you could tell me what happened in 10 years ago, you wouldn't be able to. Like I said, but under hypnosis, I could ask you that same question, and you'll be able to tell me exactly where you were. We do this thing I have this thing called Wednesday's Workout, and it's a private coaching group. And we do a lot more of this work on that. It's a lot deeper, smaller groups, and so we can really dive into certain topics. But there are certain a certain type of conditioning programs that we do, and one of them is like a sort of way that we can find out what was bothering you by asking you a series of questions, and you go right back to an event, right? Some people go back to 8 years old, 10 years old, 6 years old with crystal clear clarity. They could tell you, they have told me what they were wearing. They told me who else is in that environment. They could tell you exactly what's said, the expression on that person's face. That's what's available to you. You have that type of power is available to you in your unconscious mind. And so, you know, why is that good and why is it not so good? It's good because that type of power, once we can tune into it, we can get it on our side. And that's what the conditioning is for. But also, what's not so good about it is that when we try and grow, that's what holds us back. Because remember, its primary goal is to keep us safe. Woo! That was a big one. That was a big one. I've still got more notes. Right? I still haven't gone through everything I wanted to discuss on this call, but we're coming to the end of the show. It's been an hour of power and it's been amazing. Big up everybody on Facebook. Big up everybody on Instagram. And this is, Breathe. I know, it was a deep one. I said it was going to be a banger of a show, man. I've been listening to all the feedback and all the comments, what everybody said. And I really wanted to create something that kind of represented this whole idea because, yes, Scotty, know thyself. I'm a DM you. Yeah, listen, if you want to know more about what this is all about, DM me, email me at disruptivek@gmail.com. If you want to know more about what disruptive patterns is, I can, set up a smaller group. We can do a bit more of a Zoom call where we can just do a bit more personal stuff. And I can explain to you exactly what I'm doing with disruptive patterns, what I'm doing with Wednesday's workout, and how you can get involved. So we're building yes, Heather, we're building a weekly membership group that you can join. So look out for, hit me up on Disruptive Patterns Facebook page and I can send you some information. Alternatively, email me at disruptivek@gmail.com and I will give you information about that and how you can, yes, it was an hour power. Nice one, Adrian. Respect, must. Yes, Spencer. DM, that's right. So we're going deep like this twice a week, Tuesdays, 2:30, Thursdays, Thursdays, 2:30 as well. And this is about growing, inner growth, growing as artists, taking our business and brands to the next level. Like I said, I'm a creative coach. I'm here to help. I've been doing this for 15 years now, and I've been working all throughout the industry. So I've been helping a lot of people. If you want to take it to the next level, reach out and make contact with me, and let's figure out how we can work together and take whatever is holding you back to that next level. I'm just going to thank everybody for being a part of this thing today. It's been great. We've managed to figure out how to do 2 at the same time, Facebook and Instagram. Hopefully this was going to be recorded on Facebook, and hopefully the volume is good and everybody is being able to hear it really well. And thank you for bearing with me and being patient. It's been a great session. I've really enjoyed it. I look forward to meeting you all again next Tuesday, same time, same place. And send me some info, guys, some books, some films, some links, some music, whatever, man. Whatever is inspiring you guys, I'd like to know. And keep looking at Disruptive Patterns. Disruptive Patterns Facebook group. So we're going to carry this conversation on there. And make contact on there and sign up for my mailing list where you can get all information sent directly to your inbox, and then we can have a deeper conversation. So I want to thank everybody. It's been an amazing show, and I'll catch up with you next week, guys. Bye bye. Thank you.